You asking?
Is there anything else that either one of you want to bring in about, yeah, that question that Anne Chloe asked? Are you looking for a partner? And yeah, and it brings another part that we haven't talked about yet, and it's that everything in this call, everything in this book, it's like this, it's about experimenting with relational spaces. And yeah, so kind of like her question is, are you looking for a partner? Who are you going to be experimenting with? Like, why are you in this call, and what are you going to do with all of this? And if you're not with someone, get with someone, because that's where it works, is when you're with others and not just by yourself in your head reading or whatever.
Yeah, I also took it to, like, I thought after she gave the explanation, like, yes, I'm looking also for the partner I have. I'm still looking for, like, other parts of them and for something new in us. Not only in the beginning, I thought the question was the same as what Melissa said. If I'm looking for a boyfriend, and then I kind of switched the thinking to be like, I'm looking for something in also this person who already I'm married to or have kids with, or
yeah, that resonates for me. Yeah, like my relational space with Jorge just got just so like bad, like so muddy, and I couldn't tell what was me and what was him and what is good and what is bad. And it was this like hitting something hard and like a couple of times over, and not knowing what it was or what to do, and just kind of having in my head like, this isn't working, so I gotta leave because I don't have any other choice or something like that. And then we found this book and this work, and yeah, and then it changed it. And yeah, so are you looking for a partner? It's like, I am looking for ways to evolve my partnership with the people that I'm working with, or the people that I will work with. Yeah, something about to grow, and it's this continuous growing. Like, I don't think it's ever gonna end. Like, my kids are gonna get it or something. But yeah, that resonates for me. I'm looking for other people to work with and new ways to work with the people that I'm already working with. Ways that like work more, something like that. All right, who wants to go next and like talk about those things that stuck or resonated from the call? Okay.
I want to go next.
Okay.
I want to say, Melissa, that what you said before about when Anne Chloe said about this thing with other women of like jealousy or of resentment or of like comparison, is I think the word you used. That was like only the first bit of the call, but that's the part that really I felt like struck something with me inside. Of just seeing like this pattern that I've had in my life of not being able to be in a relationship with women who I admire or I feel like they're doing something right. And I had this friend in Israel who I felt like she was a really amazing mom, very honest, very like the way I think, just to be very real with her children. And I, because of that, couldn't see her, couldn't have anything to do with her, just total like distance that I created because I couldn't handle it. That like wave of comparison or of I'm shitty because of this and this, and she's like this, I'm like this. It got totally in the way, and in the end kind of made the relationship succumb on itself. Like it didn't work out because of that. There was a lot of material for connection. I couldn't like gap that bridge. And it made me think a lot about what I'm thinking about women who I interact with or other people, or even like you and Jorge. Like I have this thing in my head that says, no, I can't be friends with Melissa because it will make me feel bad about myself. And even if I don't act on it, it's like this belief that exists in my mind. Like I can't be friends with this person who I look up to because it will hurt myself. I guess I can't handle that. I can't deal with it. I guess just when she said that, it made me aware that that's something that like is real. And I said, oh wow, this is a real thing. Like I'm not the first one in the world to feel this thing, or to feel this like pushing energy, like pushing away from each other. or this like getting scared thing of like having close intimacy and close connection with another mom, and then suddenly I get scared, pull back, like no, I can't do it. Or another thing of like letting it just like fizzle away, letting it fizzle, having this like close connection with another woman and just like letting it just like die out, take its own course. When one person doesn't talk, another person doesn't talk, and then just there's no talking, and then it just ends itself. But it is a choice, like to do that. Like when you stop talking or when you stop interacting with someone, that's also a choice. Yeah, that was like my question that like I really wanted to ask you and to ask Jorge and to like ask this like container, like how can you make it not be that way? What different option is there to be able to have women be in close connection who are also mothers, have kids, do things differently, I guess, and the relationship, like the connection?
Yeah, it's a great question. Yes, like that something, it's your question. Like, there's the word question, and the beginning of it has the word quest. So it's like this question is your adventure. It's your quest. You get to kind of hold this question as a guidance towards that thing, that the answer, or how it could even be possible. Because it sounds like the way you are right now, kind of like the shape of your being, it's like that's not possible. So the question is going to take you on this adventure towards how is it possible. And from what I've experienced so far is that I've had to change like very real shifts on the inside of how I see things and how I talk in my own head. And even having distinctions, like distinctions are this amazing thing that let me kind of put something into a container so that I can see the wholeness of it. And then it can either be that or it cannot be that. For example, what you described is an ordinary relationship. And it's this one person is superior and one person is inferior, and there's a protection of this idea of
Oh, I lost you guys.
How about now? Can you hear us? It's really frozen. Can you hear us now?
Hi, you guys.
I hear you.
I lost you after the ordinary relationship, and then I cut off.
Cool.
Yeah, so it's the power of a distinction. The distinction, like what you described, is an ordinary relationship where either you're good and then the outside person or the outside world is bad, or it sounds more like the outside is good and you don't want to be bad, or it's kind of like this game. So it's this like very, very normal way of relating, and yeah, the distinction is that it's an ordinary relationship, and in some sort of calibration of something similar, of some sort of game of good, bad, inferior, superior, kind of like that's how all the relationships go in this kind of ordinary way of relating. Yeah, so when I can have that distinction of, oh, this is what I'm doing right now is I'm ordinary relating, like this action that I'm doing with the person at the grocery store saying, hi, how's your day? How's it? Like this very normal way of being. I can kind of put it into this category, like, oh, this is what it is. And then once I have that, then I can do that, or I cannot do that. And the other thing to do is kind of like that adventure of what is it? And I don't know. And I get to discover it. And mostly it's scary and sometimes terrifying. and that's it. Like that for me, that's the thing. That's the adventure, is like being with that fear and still acting and not going back to like the habit of in this case thinking that woman is good, so I can't relate to her because I got to protect myself.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like it's even something to notice that you're doing that. I didn't really think about it until this morning in that way.
Yeah. Yeah, noticing it is the first step. To just like getting close to what is actually happening is the first step.
Mhm.
And even like what I'm getting is you can do this experiment, like get a notebook, and every day this week when you notice that you're relating to another woman from that place that they're good, and so you're kind of protecting yourself, just write down you know, who the person is and kind of what thoughts are coming up or what it is that you
Mhm.
guys are doing, you know, what you really want to do versus what you actually do or don't do.
Mhm.
And just notice it for 1 week. And ideally it's so painful to notice it, like so fucking like heartbreaking, that then something else is going to
Yeah.
happen. That's how it's been going for me, that kind of adventure, just like first noticing it until it's so painful, and then something else happens, and it's like through the pain or like with the pain, because of the pain.
Something moves. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the distinction that's coming up for me that's relevant to right now is the relationships don't die from a lack of love, that they die from a lack of intimacy. And the distinction that Clinton gave today in the call, that intimacy and relating is ongoingly creating non-linear possibilities, or ongoingly creating ongoing actions of non-linear creations. That's what he called it.
Can you say it again?
He said that relating and intimacy is ongoing actions of non-linear creations. So yeah, like just to like clarify on that, on the linearity of it, is like there is the normal, the A to B, the expected, like how is your day, and then what, like nice weather, and there is like this like very linear relation or conversations that happen in our life, and like this the creation of intimacy is like an ongoing creation of something that is non-linear, and that brings like a lot of aliveness to the responsibility that I have of being here now and what I'm creating, and what is the part that I'm doing in the relating that is creating that the ordinary. And like when I say ordinary too, like there is all of these things, like the responses and the lack of responses. Like when there is like these like silences, when there is like silence, it can also be ordinary.
It can also be extraordinary. It just depends where it's coming from.
Yeah.
Sometimes a lot happens when it's quiet, and sometimes it's just shit. Like the whole like love just like dies, right? Or like the whole intensity or connection just dies. Amuna, do you have a notebook?
I could have a notebook. Yeah.
I would really like this question that you asked. I would say write it down, and like you had that clarity of what you asked, and I would say put it on a piece of paper and kind of look at it every day for the next little bit, and then see what comes from that, and let us know. Let me know. Let us know.
Okay. It makes me like feel fear just thinking about it, just because I don't know. I feel like there's this thing that comes up also when Jorge is talking, is if I'm in the company of people who are more awake, I guess is the way to say it, and I'm being like clocked during that time. I think that's something a big reason why I was also afraid to join the call in the morning. That I'm thinking to myself, who's going to catch me? Who's going to find out that really I'm not so like that really I'm doing all of this stuff everyone's talking about. I have that fear of like being myself and being honest, because I'm saying who's gonna like find me out that really I'm this way. Which like connects to that thing of relating to women. That's just in general relating to people who are a little bit more talking in this way, like a little bit scares me. Hi, Lucy.
Hi.
Yeah, keep going, like admitting it or something.
I'll come soon.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear
Please
that
say
it's
that again.
scary. Keep going with admitting it, you know, like just
Yeah.
putting it out there, like
Yeah.
exactly what you just said. That's it. Something like that.
Yeah, it's like this thing of like being seen, like this fear
Yeah.
of being seen, I guess, in a way that's not curated by me.
Yeah. Yeah, and you still came to the call 2 times and yeah, and we're here and it's fucking scary.
Yeah. Of course, like I'm gonna do it, and it's also this decision of not letting other stuff come up, and even if stuff does come up, then like letting that stuff be, and also this exists at the same time. Like I have this thing where if I want to do a call or something, I need everything to be just this certain way, where I need to be quiet and to be like this, and then I feel like anything aside from that is like not respectful of the space. But in the morning, I said no, I'm gonna be on this phone. If I need to turn off my video camera to do this stuff or to take Leon or to do this, and I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna still come to the call anyway.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Go Luna.
Cool. Yeah, I feel
Awesome.
yours
Thank
here,
you.
your process.
Yeah. Yeah, I really also like relate with what you're talking about. It's just nice to hear, like to listen.
Yeah. The biggest thing that's alive for me right now that I want to share is this connection that is happening between you two, about like the language, like kind of like what is possible when a group of mother or like even two mothers have like this language to communicate with, and just like really what it becomes possible when there is like the possibility of relating from more than just from the ego or the box to like here I'm here, and I want to work with you, I want to collaborate with you, I have a need of for a team, I require a team to do the things that I want to do in this world, and like yeah, like how the collaboration opens up in that field.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's what it feels very alive to me right now from this call. Um, did everybody get it?
Something that's happening right now that I want to say, because we're gonna pass it over to Jorge for the last 10-12 minutes. Yeah, I just want to acknowledge like Serena is not in this call,
And she was supposed to be.
And she was supposed to be, and even just now she tried to come into the call, and yeah, something like as a team, including her as well, something like it's all of our responsibility to keep this as a spaceship that we can fly in, and to do that, it's my responsibility to like put my shit on the table, like exactly what you just did, Amuna. Like you just put it out there, this thing that you were scared to be seen and be caught doing all the things that is kind of what they're describing as this, the other side or the
right, the gremlin stuff. Yeah
exactly. And that if I don't do that, if I'm not honest, then this becomes like this baggage and I can't fly. And what I want is I want to fly with you guys. Like this is kind of the purpose of the team, is to take the fuel from the call and then go a little bit higher with it. Yeah, and so right now there's something happening for Serena, and I'll just say after this call, the question is, how can I be on Serena's team so that I can fly with her? And I put that question for you guys, and go, whatever comes from it, go. Yeah, I just want to acknowledge it because it's happening. Thank you for hearing that.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you want to share? from anything or from the call?
Yeah. Yeah. This we've been I've been listening to the previous before the calls that we've been doing today, that we've been doing in the last 2 weeks. There were 70 other calls that happened for the length of 1 year or so, where they got to go to the ordinary exploration of love, or the ordinary relating. And I think one thing that wasn't acknowledged in these calls is that it got acknowledged the people that were in those calls, but it didn't get acknowledged the people that have also heard the recordings, because these all got recorded. And Melissa and I, we started on this journey of listening to the calls from day one, from the very first meeting to like all the out, like witnessing that process, kind of like from this like retrospective of like seeing like this TV show, or like it was more like a podcast. And it was an amazing journey. And when we were like around halfway through that, like around like on episode 30 or 40, there was this announcement in our group, like, hey, the study group is gonna get reactivated again, or anybody's interested in reactivating the study group. And there was this like huge opening for me, and like big joy, and I told Melissa, the group is getting reactivated. Do you want to join? And she's like, yeah, let's do it. So we're like, cool. So we went on that journey of listening to the part of the ordinary, and it's like really so much gold of like listening the process and the kind of space that got created there, the kind of intimacy that got created through like putting your shit on the table. Like what I mean with this is by putting like the ordinary parts like outside, like expose them, like get yourself exposed, like this is the plan that I'm making in my mind, this is how I'm planning revenge against you, this is how I hate you, this is how I created resentment against you. And putting all these things on the table, like it really like allows the space to lighten up and to take off, and for the feelings to like come to life and become very, very real. So in the call today, for me, it was like this like huge joy of like being with Clinton and Chloe live. Like it's not a recording anymore, but it's like a live person, and I have the possibility of participating in it. And it was like, wow, and there was just like it created like this extra like layer. And part of me wishes that it was in person, that we were doing this in person, and that it was because like a lot of can be created. There were a few times where I wanted to participate and I didn't participate, either because there was a lot happening already in this space with the children, or I didn't see the space, or I was scared and I didn't say I wanted to say something. And so I'm glad that we're creating this team here, that where we can like go into it and like have like, oh, this is what happened for me, or this is what came alive for me, and have our own process about it. I practiced the cavitating technique a few times already before in the last 3 weeks, where I actually like in a public space I went like that, and I did that, and I was saying I create a space where regenerative culture can thrive, and I went right into it, and I opened it and I stepped into it, and just like stepping more and more into that, like it creates an aliveness that it returns the responsibility to me. It gives me the responsibility about what I'm creating in that moment and about what I could create and the possibilities. And in our call today, the other thing that was alive is that for the last 3 days, it's been a process in our family of working with with the weekly cycles, but also I don't know, yeah, like creating the flow in our family in a way that is not like a prison, in a way that is not a rigid thing, that is like a mechanical thing, that okay, I'm gonna be here this day and then I'm gonna be doing this and I'm gonna be doing that, and this has been a process that's been going on for the last like 3 months or so. And I think in this meeting today brought like a lot of clarity about how that is possible, like how these things are possible. And yeah, how can I like create my space and create like a space inside of myself, a culture, the culture that I can stand inside of myself to to really feel alive and bring that aliveness inside of myself and bring that aliveness to the spaces where I am with the children and with Melissa. And it's like it's something that I can't plan. It's something like that it can be it's spontaneous. It's something that is from the moment. It's something that is not from the box of Jorge or the box of like what I think I know about myself and what I have planned and what I have planned to say and this thing, but it comes from this other like source, like that is from the source of being with myself and being the space, being in the space, and and being being with my bright principles, being with the principles that I'm taking a stand for, and being with the children, being with my partner in a way that is authentic. And my whole life I've been a person that has adapted to others and to situations, to the space, and I'm getting to explore this for the first time. Like, what is it like to be myself? What is it like to be me? What is it like? What is it that I want? And how can I bring that to the space? And it's been a painful process of using how I continue to be adaptive and more adaptive, and continue to not be myself, to like cut myself off to be what I'm expected to be. Yeah, so that's the research that's happening for me with this call.
Yeah, cool. No. Oh. Do you have any questions for your team or anything?
Yeah, I have a question of how can I continue, how can I create more linearity, especially when I feel stuck, when I feel like there is nothing else that's possible, when I feel like my energy is being drawn by something else, and there is this like huge mud in the space that is like I can't move, like it's so hard to move, like yeah, like what can change from there for me to create something else.
So your question is, what can you do that's non-linear when you're stuck in the mud so that you can go to another space or something different?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Nothing good.
Yeah, and it kind of it makes me think of your question too, Mona, and it's like, how can I kind of go from this kind of what is and what happens to something else, and even anything else, like anything other than
how to move it
happening. Yeah, how to move it. Yeah, and Jorge, you brought in that we did the first. There were 70 weeks that the call was done, and for 70 weeks it was talking mostly about Gremlin, and like, yeah, and even talking about that underworld, that shadow world, that hell world, that world that kind of like controls me and makes me act before I realize what I'm doing. Yeah, something like that. There, that's where it starts. Yeah, and my one of the biggest things that I learned from this possibility management is that my pain is fuel. I did a couple of weeks with some mentors, and they had the skill and the ability to get me closer to my pain and be with my pain, my heartbreak, my sadness, my anger about what I do and how I do it and how I, just what I do, like my eating, for example, so that I can numb out and not be in the reality of whatever's going on because it's for some reason too much to handle. Yeah, so it's kind of like both of those questions are landing in a similar place in me, and what's coming out is get so close to your pain, like notice it so much that you're so close to your pain that you have like crystal clear clarity about what you're doing. And then when you see it and you can see it and then you do it, and even you do it on purpose, and it's so like unbearably painful. Yeah, I would say like start there. Start by like being in the mud intentionally. Put yourself in the mud. Get clear at what the mud is, and then put yourself in there, and then stay there and notice it, and then go from there. And and don't do it by yourself. Like be in connection with me or with this team, or like Amuna, be in connection with Reuven, and even tell him beforehand and be like, Reuven, I'm doing this book study club and these things kind of came up and this is what I'm playing with and this is something that I'm going to give a try over the next few days. Yeah, so he knows what's going on, so that when you're in it and you're not doing your normal thing, like smiling or making a coffee or whatever it is, he's not freaking out. He's like, okay, she's in this experiment, and even she asked me to be on her team, so I'm just gonna be here and just hold space for her to do it and not freak out and just let her do her thing for 3 days or whatever it is. Yeah.
I wanted to say one more thing about what you asked Jorge about how to like move that kind of stuckness.
Yes.
And I don't really know how to explain this. I think a big one for me is like doing something that you don't want to do. Like even for example, this morning, Reuven told me, here, I'll help you. I'll take your jacket to the dry cleaning. I'll take it for you to clean. I said, no, I'm not going to do it. I don't want you to take it. And then I said to myself, you know what? Even though I don't want him to take it, I'm going to take it just for the act of doing something to move this like thing inside me, just to shift it. I'll give him the jacket and he'll take it. And it kind of changed something. That I don't really go with my automatic gut of no, you can't take my jacket. And no, you can take my jacket. Sometimes like just doing some act that you tell yourself, this is where I am right now. I'm in this stuckness. I'm in this place where it's hard for me to move this energy. And then just doing the actual whatever thing you feel like is the opposite of where you're stuck. Even without really intending for it, not saying like, oh, I'm going to do this to move the energy, but sometimes just doing that little shift helps to like make things a bit flow after it, like to change a little bit.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Mona. What I'm hearing is like, yeah, kind of like moving what this Clinton was saying, like moving perpendicularly or orthogonally. It's like you had like you were planning going this way and like go that way, something like that.
Yeah, just fuck it. Like,
yeah. Cool. Thank you for that possibility. Yeah, I'm noticing it's 5 o'clock.
Yeah, it's 5:04. Are there
Oh,
any
wow,
last
really? Already?
any last things, any last needs, any last wants, any last questions? Please don't be at the front. Boy, Yummy.
I don't know. I feel like after doing this whole like talk, and it was really important for me in the beginning. I just like the space already opened that I didn't want to ask, but it's important for me, I guess, to know where you guys are and I don't know, just where this spaceship is like taking you. I really wanted like the whole week to like ask, and I don't know why I didn't, but I'm gonna ask now.
Our spaceship is in a parking lot beside the library in Langford.
Okay.
We haven't gone far physically, but we've gone pretty far in other ways.
Okay.
It's been a big, like, yeah, since we left your place. We went to go visit one more friend, and then, yeah, when we were finishing visiting them and getting ready to go to the ferry, we found out that the training in Seattle got canceled. So it kind of like flipped me upside down, and it felt like I had this clear arrow of what we agreed on and where we were going and what we were doing, and then that got lost, and so lots came up and lots is coming up, it feels like.
I hear that Mona lost us.
Yeah.
Oh, it got canceled before you could. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, that's like okay. I wasn't expecting you to say that.
Yeah, great. Sounds not non-linear.
Exactly.
Unpredictable.
I want
Exactly
to.
that.
I want to close. Well, I want to propose an experiment for our team.
Yeah.
That for this next week, to practice the cavitating, for three times this week,
Okay.
at any place where you want. It could be a public place. It could be in your own home. It could be in the bathroom. It could be at the library, at the coffee shop, anywhere. Just practice it 3 times.
Okay, I'm here for that.
Me too.
I'm curious.
Cool.
Will you post it in our chat clearly?
Yeah.
The experiment for the week?
Yeah. And,
Cool.
Yeah, and there is also a video of Aunt Chloe demonstrating it.
Oh,
So I'll share that too.
sounds good.
And yeah, that's it.
Bye. Bye, Amuna. Nice to talk with you and see you and connect.
Bye.
Do you want to say bye, Amuna?
Bye, Muna.
Bye. Lots of kisses.
Bye for now.
Bye bye.
Dad.